Shiva Mahapuranam Mahatmyam, Chapter 6, Method of Listening to the Purana. Saunaka said, O Suta, the fortunate one, you are extremely intelligent and are the disciple of the sage Vyasa. Salutation to you. You are graceful. All your virtues are worth highlighting. You kindly tell us the method of listening to the Shiva Purana, by which all the listeners should achieve the best of the fruit. Suta said, O sage Saunaka, I am now going to tell you the method of the achieving of the complete reward of the listening of the Shiva Purana. Summon an astrologer in your house who should be pleased by offering the dakshina by all the members of the family and ask him the auspicious time at which the recitation should be started for a successful end. Thereafter, the news should be spread in all the countries about the recitation of the Shiva Purana, and the people desirous of their own welfare should attend the same. Some of the people remain away from Hari Katha, while others keep off from the Sankirtana of Lord Shiva. Besides the above, all the men, women, Shudras, and others should also be invited to enable them to gain knowledge. The news should be sent everywhere. All the devotees of Shiva who might be anxious to listen to the name of Shiva and his recitation should be respectfully invited for the hearing of the Shiva Katha. The ascetics should also be invited with a message that at the completion of the Shiva Purana, surprising festivities would be celebrated. In order to consume the nectar like juice of Shiva Purana with respect, you kindly arrive here with a devoted heart. In case you have no time to listen to the complete Purana, when you should attend at least part of it, whatever might be the case, you should arrive because such opportunities are quite rare in the life. Such type of invitation should be humbly sent, and when the devotees arrive to join the recitation, they should all be honored appropriately. A beautiful mandapa pavilion should be made in the Shiva temple, in a Shiva temple, a sacred place, or in one's own home for the listening of the Shiva Purana. The place at which the mandapa has to be prepared for the purpose of recitation, the land of that place should be purified. Then it should be plastered and decorated with red ochre or the powder of the metals. Then auspicious formations should be made with the red color. Such of the things which are not of daily use in the house should be removed and kept concealed properly in the corner of the house. The mandapa should be raised and decorated with the trunks of the banana trees. The flowers and fruit should be collected in large number, and the balconies should be prepared, decorating them with flowers and fruits on all the four sides. The mandapa should be decorated with flags and banners on all the sides. While doing so, one should remain devoted at the feet of Lord Shiva, who bestows all types of bliss. Performing oblation, a divine seat should be left for Lord Shiva, and a comfortable seat should be kept for the speaker. O great sage, appropriate seating arrangement for the ascetics or other listeners should be made, and ordinary listeners should also be provided with the appropriate seats. The arrangements which are made for the people for the joining of the marriage of the girl, similar arrangement should be made with the auspicious intentions. O Saunaka, during that period one should free himself from the worldly attachments. The orator should face towards the north, while the listeners should face towards the east. The listener should sit with legs rolled round. No controversy should be picked up during this time. The eastern direction has been considered to be the best between the worshipper and the worshipped, or otherwise the speaker should face the listeners. When the Brahmana narrating the Purana occupies the seat of Vyasa, then till such time his narration is completed, no one should disturb him till then or offer even salutation to him. The narrator of the Purana could be of any age, viz., boy, young man, or an old man, irrespective of his being a poor or a rich person or even a weak person. The people desirous of people desirous to gaining merits should extend all respect to such a person, adoring him at the same time. The person well versed in the Purana should never be looked down upon, because the words spoken by him serve like a kamadhenu with fulfilling cow and fulfills all the desires. After the time of the birth, many of the people are like the preceptors because of their high merits. Out of all of them, the one who is well versed in the Purana is indeed the best. The reason is that the Jivas feel painful situations on earth, having been born in crores of yonis. Therefore, the one who showers nectar with the reciting of the Purana, which lead to the salvation, is indeed is the best. There could be no other preceptor better than him. Only such of the person deliver discourse on the auspicious Shiva Purana. Who is well versed in the Purana is quite pure, clever, peaceful by nature, free from jealousy, should be noble by heart, is compassionate on all the creatures, and is a good speaker. Since the morning to the end of 3.5 praharas, the learned person should recite the story of the Shiva Purana and speak out the same to the listeners. This Purana should not be recited before the people who are wicked, are ill-mannered, and wicked, who are desirous of defeating others, and are the degraded ones. The narration should not be made before the wicked people or the country infested with thieves and dacoits, or in the house of the cunning or the deceitful people. During the noon time, the narration of Shiva Purana should be stopped for a muhurta to enable the orator and the listeners to get themselves relieved of motion or erasing, etc., or easing, etc. Even after getting relieved of the same, one should keep on devoting his mind towards the story of Shiva. The orator should have his hair cut a day before the start of the narration. All the daily routines like Sandhya and others should be performed quite briefly. Another learned person having the similar type of qualifications should be designated as the helper of the orator. Such a helper orator should be able to explain the problems of the narration as well as remove the doubts of the listeners. For the removal of the obstructions in the recitation of Shiva Purana, the Lord Mahaganapati should be adored. Shiva, the Lord of the recitation, as well as the book of Shiva Purana, should also be worshipped. A person with noble wisdom should particularly listen to the story of Shiva Purana with respect. The listener should also get himself mentally and bodily purified. The listener whose mind is engaged in various matters or is filled with the blemishes of kama, krodha, anger, etc., the one who is attracted towards the woman who is a cheat is not entitled to attaining the merit for the listening of this Purana. A listener who, setting aside the worries of the world, the riches, the house, the son, and others, or the devotees, with his spotless mind and concentrates towards the listening of the story, he achieves the best of the reward. Such of the listeners whose mind are filled with faith and devotion, detracting their minds from other worldly affairs, and listen quietly with their minds and bodies purified, the Shiva Purana attentively, they achieve enormous merits. The degraded people who listen to the meritorious story without devotion, they earn no merit of listening to the Shiva Katha. Such of the foolish people who, without offering the presents according to their capacity and without worshipping it, listen to the Shiva Katha, they instead of getting purified become paupers. Such of the people who roam about here and there after the start of the Shiva Katha, their wives, sons, and riches are lost in the next birth. The listeners who listen to the Shiva Katha wearing turbans over their heads, their sons become sinful and earn blemishes and earn blemish for the race. Such of the persons who listen to Shiva Katha while chewing the beetles after their death, the messengers of Yama force them to consume their own refuse. Such of the people who listen to the Shiva Katha seated at a place higher than that of Vyasa, they, after their death, suffering all the pains of the hell, are reborn as crows. Such of the people who listen to the Shiva Katha seated in Virasana, etc., they, suffering all the pains of the hell, are born as the poisonous trees. Such of the people who listen to the Shiva Katha without offering their salutation to Vyasa, they in the next birth, after suffering several pains of the hell, are born as the Arjuna tree. Terminalia Alatagoba. Such of the people who, without suffering from any ailment, listen to the Katha lying down, they after suffering all the pains in the hell are born as python in the next birth. Such of the people who listen to the Katha occupying a place comfortable such of the people who listen to the Katha occupying a place comparable to that of Vyasa, they earn the sin of humiliating the Guru. Such of the people who denounce the orator as well as the Katha, they, after suffering all the pains in the hell, are born as dogs. When the recitation of the Katha is on one who denounces the same, he, after suffering several severe pains of the hell, is reborn as donkey. Such of the people who never listen this auspicious Katha, they, suffering all the pains of the hell, are reborn as wild boars. Such of the people who create obstruction in the recitation of the Katha, they suffer the enormous pains in the hell, become the village pigs, and consume the human refuse. In this way, both the orator and the listener should recite and listen to the Katha with utmost devotion. In order to avoid any obstruction in the recitation of the Katha, Sri Ganesha should be adored, and after performing daily routine, the repentance should also be made. He shall worship the 9 planets and deities in the Sarvatobhadra style. He shall worship the book as per the rites of Shiva's adoration. In addition of Ganesha, the 9 planets like Surya and others, gods of Sarvatobhadra, Lord Shiva, and then Shiva Purana should be adored. At the end of the adoration, one should humbly, with folded hands, offer prayer to Shiva Purana as follows. You are Shiva Purana and represent Lord Shiva himself. I have decided to listen to your Parayana. Therefore, be pleased with me. You bestow success to my desire to enable me to listen to the Katha without any obstruction. O Lord Shiva, the crocodile in the form of the bondages of karmas has enslaved me. I am your slave and I am drowning in the ocean of the universe. You kindly make a miserable person like me to cross the ocean of the universe. This Shiva Purana is the form of Shiva himself. Reciting these words with devotion, the Vyasa should be adored. The orator Vyasa should be adored in the same way as Shiva is adored, offering the flowers, cloth, ornaments, incense, lamp, and other materials. After the completion of the worship, the listeners should follow all the regulations according to his means up to the end of the Katha. The listeners should adore the orator of the Purana. Thus, you are yourself the form of Vyasa. Bestow the best of knowledge. You are an expert in the Shiva Purana, with the light of which you remove the darkness of ignorance in us. For the purpose of performing of Japam, 5 or 1 Brahmana should be selected with devotion. All of them should continue to recite the Shiva mantra. Suta said, O Saunaka, I have explained the proper method for listening to the Purana with devotion. Now you tell me, what more do you want to listen from me? Iti Sri Skande Mahapurane Shiva Purana Mahatmye Shravana Vidhi Varnanang Nama Shashtodhyayah. Chapter 7. Description of the worship of the book and the orator speaker. Saunaka said, O intelligent Suta, you are graceful, foremost of the devotees of the Lord. The story you have narrated is quite surprising and bestows welfare on all. A great sage, those who listen to Shiva Purana performing the vrata, and for the welfare of the entire universe, you kindly spell out the related regulations. Suta said, O Saunaka, listen to the related regulations. Because with the listening of this katha appropriately, one achieve the best of the reward, free from obstructions. The persons without diksha are not entitled to listen to this katha. Therefore, O best of the sage, whosoever is desirous of listening to this katha must receive mantra diksha from the acharya who narrates Shiva Katha. The one who has taken a vrata to listen to the katha, he must observe a celibacy or vrata or brahmacharya, should sleep on the ground, should consume fruit alone on a leaf plate. Such food should be taken daily at the end of the katha. Or a listener who is quite healthy should keep fast till the end of the katha, getting purified. He should listen to the story of Shiva Purana with devotion. One should listen to the katha with comfort, consuming ghee or the milk. The orator or the speaker should consume fruit or take food once in a day and recite the Shiva Purana. The one who has observed vrata for the listening of the katha, he should have havishyana food only once a day, or he should make arrangement by which he could be able to listen to the katha appropriately. Even when one is inclined to listen to the katha after his taking food, then he should take light food. In case an obstruction is created while keeping fast, then fasting would not be undertaken. Heavy items of food which digest after long time, all types of pulses, burnt food, kidney beans, defiled pulse, the stuff polluted by filling and state food should not be consumed by the listener. The brinjal, watermelon, snake gourd, radish, pumpkin, coconut, etc. should not be consumed by the listener who listens to the katha daily. Onion, garlic as asafoetida, carrots and other intoxicating drinks should not be consumed by the person listening to the katha daily. Indulging into 6 types of blemishes like passions, anger, greed, delusion, arrogance, and cheating are prohibited. Besides the denouncing of the brahmanas, the chaste women, and the noble people who are engaged in the listening the Shiva Katha daily. One should not look at the woman in period, and the Shiva story should not be repeated to the degraded persons or to those who are jealous of the Brahmanas or those who are not entitled to recite the Vedas. The person listening to the Shiva Katha should not talk to such people. The listener of the Shiva Katha should daily remain truthful, pure, compassionate, silent, simple, and maintain large heartedness. In case the Katha is listened to by a person with a desire or by a person without desire quite regularly, then the desire of the former is fulfilled, while the latter achieves moksha. The persons who are poor, suffering from consumption and other ailments, sinful, unfortunate, and those having no sons should listen to this katha with devotion. The 7 types of shortcomings, including having a child only once, usually found in the woman, or those who have to face abortion repeatedly, should listen to the Shiva Purana. O best of the sage, all the men and women should listen to the story of Shiva Purana with devotion appropriately. The days whenever the Parayana of Shiva Purana is performed are considered to be the most auspicious days and are like the performing of the crores of yajnas. During these days, whatever little is given with devotion appropriately, it bestows unlimited reward which is everlasting. Performing the vrata in this manner and listening to Shiva Katha, the performer of the vrata should observe Udyapana, or the religious rite performed at the end of an observance. The complete method for the performing of Udyapana is the same as that of Chaturdashi. Therefore, the noble persons should perform for achieving of the best reward. The devotees of Shiva who are poor, for them there is no necessity of performing of Udyapana rites. They are purified with the mere listening of the Shiva Katha because they have no desires. After the festive celebration of the sacrifice of the discourse on Shiva Purana is concluded, the listener shall perform the worship. The book of Shiva Purana should initially be adored like Shiva himself appropriately. Thereafter, the orator should be adored. To cover the book of Shiva Purana, new and fresh and durable cloth would be given, and the silken cord should be given to bind it. To cover the book of Shiva Purana, new and fresh and durable cloth would be given, and the silken cord should be given to bind it. Such of the devotees who give away the new cloth and the cord for the covering of the book of Shiva Purana, they enjoy pleasure for many births and achieves jnana as well. The orator should be given several types of valuables and the best cloth and ornaments. Such of the people who give away the blankets, deer, skin, silken cloth, pedestal, wooden board to serve as a seat to the book, they, reaching the heaven, enjoy all the divine pleasures there, occupy the Brahmapada for a kalpa, and finally achieve Shaivapada. By adoring the book in this manner, the orator should be adored with great festivities. The person with similar qualifications who had been engaged to help the orator has also to be adored similarly, but the amount of his dakshina has to be a little less than that of the orator. The brahmanas arriving at the place of recitation should be given charities like food, money, etc. as well. At the end of the katha, there should be singing, dancing, besides arranging of other festivities. O great sage, in case the listener is an ascetic, then as a special arrangement on the day next to the ending of the recitation of Shiva Katha, the Shiva Gita, which was spoken by Shiva to Rama, should be recited. In case the listener in a householder In case the listener is a householder, then the wise people should perform homa with pure ghee of a cow for the shanti of the katha. O great sage, listen, reciting every mantra of Rudra Samhita or the Gayatri as the gist thereof, or with the reciting of the verses of Shiva Purana, one should perform homa appropriately, or otherwise reciting the mantra Om Namah Shivaya, Homa should be performed. In case the host is unable to perform the Homa, then the articles kept for offering in the Homa should be given over to the Brahmana. For the removal of whatever shortage or excess types of blemishes are there at the time of the reciting of the Purana, one should recite Shiva Sahasranama himself or should listen to it. In this way, the hearing of the entire Shiva Purana meets with success. There is no doubt about it, because there is nothing more important in this world except this in the three worlds. 11. Brahmanas should be served the honey and the payasam, giving them appropriate dakshina for the completion of the vrata. In case the listener is quite well off, then he should make a lion weighing 3 palas, 12 tolas, get the important verses of this Purana engraved on it, and should be consecrated appropriately. Then, offering the dakshina, one should adore the same. The intelligent listener should adore it, offering the costumes, ornaments, fragrance, flowers, etc., and give it to the learned Acharya, having controlled all his senses for the pleasure of Shiva. O Saunaka, in this way, with the influence of the charities, earning the grace of Shiva, a person is relieved of all the worldly bondages. In this way, with the listening of the complete Shiva Purana appropriately, it bestows the desired reward besides the moksha. In this way, I have spoken everything to you. What more do you want to listen from me? The glory of Shiva Purana fulfills all the desires. The Shiva Purana has been treated to be the best of all, which is immensely dear to Lord Shiva. It is quite pleasant and redeems one from all the worldly bondages. The people who have taken birth on earth and those who are devoted to Lord Vishwanatha and offer always prayers to Shiva whose both ears listen to the praise of Shiva, they easily cross the ocean of the universe. I take refuge with Lord Shiva, who pervades in the universe in the forms of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, who spreads the light of his glory inside and outside the world, who always pervades the mind, the speech, who is blissful beyond measures and is known as Parama Shiva. इति श्री स्कांदे महापुराणे सनत्कुमार संहितायां श्री शिव पुराण श्रवण व्रतीनां विधि निषेध पुस्तक वक्तृ पूजन वर्णनं नाम सप्तमोऽध्यायः समाप्तमिदं श्री शिव पुराण माहात्म्यम्।